Hey there guys, Raymond here, also known as Ray Vision, and welcome back to another Forza Motorsport 7 top 10 list. Wait, no, it's a top 5 list. It is a top 5 list on the things you can do to improve at drifting in Forza Motorsport 7. Now this list is going to be both for veterans of the franchise who are struggling with the new physics in Forza Motorsport 7, hint me in other words, and they're also going to be for beginners who just aren't very good at drifting, and for that I will be giving you also basic tips and tricks on how to improve, things you can do. That have been said, what brought this video around is the fact that I got into Forza Motorsport 7, and if you guys have known me since before Horizon 3, you know that I'm actually quite a good drifter, and that I was in Forza Motorsport 6 and Motorsport 5, and when I got to Motorsport 7, I've been struggling. So this video is to help you improve on those struggles that you too might have faced, because I'm still facing them. You're going to see the drifting you're going to see is not perfect, but to compare it to what I was doing about 2 weeks ago, it's a lot better. That having been said, please be aware that the next top 10 list will be the top 10 DLC cars that we want to see in Forza Motorsport 7. So please leave your recommendations in the comments below. Subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Instagram so you can be notified when a poll goes out so you can vote for the cars you want to see in the game. With all that having been said, let's get into it. Now at number 5, we're talking about something that really doesn't apply to veterans because they've already figured this stuff out. That having been said, it can be a great aid to new people in the game. That is, it's a bit of a double whammy, and that is, number 1, know your assists. In other words, know what assists to use, know how to use them, know what you prefer as a drifter yourself. I myself have ABS turned off, I use manual with clutch, I have racing line braking only turned on, no steering assist, no braking assist, no none of that. And always make sure that when it comes to damage, you only have it set to cosmetic when drifting, because or else your tire wear will all go through in one lap and then it will be impossible to complete the track. So always keep that in mind. The other part of this is tuning. Try and tune cars. I mean, like, it sounds like such a novel concept, but it's part of the game. It's actually fun to try and tune your own cars, or challenging, however you want to think about it. But learning how to tune your own cars will also teach you how you yourself prefer to drift, because you're going to adjust the car to how you prefer to take certain corners. So, if you haven't done that yet, try it out. I mean, like, what's the worst that could happen? Now, number 4, we're going to talk about something that's basically one of the most important parts of a drift, and that is the initiation into a drift. And this ties in with another thing too, so it's kind of a 2.1 point, and that is that in Forza Motorsport 7, if you want to be scoring big points, if you want to be able to maintain good angle drift, you need to initiate aggressively. That means you're going to be going for high angles. That also means, depending on what kind of camera view you use, you're not going to be seeing the upcoming corner. This means that map knowledge is extremely important, so go ahead and race all the different maps while drifting. The more maps you race and the better you know them, the more you'll be able to do with them, because having that map knowledge will allow you to initiate more aggressively, earlier into a turn, and more consistently. Because if you don't know the map and you try and do that initiation that you've never done before, odds are things aren't going to turn out too well. Now at number 3, we have the one that I believe has changed the most since previous Forza games, and that is steering lock versus throttle control. In previous Forza games, you could sort of cheat your drifts. If you wanted to, you could lock your gas max and then compensate with steering. In Forza Motorsport 7, you cannot do this. Your best option for maintaining a strong and steady drift would be to do steering lock, and instead of adjusting with your steering, adjusting with your throttle. So learning how to feather the throttle and knowing how much gas you need to maintain what angle or a perfect steering lock, that is what will be the key to you becoming a great drifter. Now, I cannot do this consistently. If I'm honest, I only pull it off 25% of the time correctly. Although that's a lot better than 2 weeks ago when it was about 0% of the time, and I'm getting better. And so it's just something to be conscious about that you can practice, and as you get better at it, you will see you're going to start and hold some really magnificent drifts. Now, number 2 isn't as much of a tip as much as it is a drill that you should do to improve drifting. This is good for beginners and both for veterans as well. I've been doing a lot of this recently, and it is great. Simply put, go into free play, set up a drift lobby on any map you'd like to practice on that specific day. Please try and change the map so you get used to an assortment of different tracks and that it's not only the same track. Then pick out a rental car Make sure it is stock. Rear-wheel drive has a lot of power. Dodge Demon's good. Corvette's good. S63, anything along those lines. Go and drift. And you're not going to be getting the best scores ever, but if you're able to be consistent in those cars, it's a good sign. They're the easiest ones to learn how to drift on. So if you've never drifted before, go and do that. If you're a veteran drifter and you're having trouble with your high-powered cars, go back to the basics. No need to try that. And as you get better, go ahead and start using cars that are tuned for drifting, cars that have 1,000 horsepower. But start out with those slow cars and the basics, and make sure that you're changing which kind of cars you're drifting pretty much every time. Because if you just get used to drifting 1 or 2 cars, that kind of leaves you liable if you try and drift something else. So by experiencing all these different cars and all the handling, it will improve your drifting overall for all your vehicles. So that is what I recommend you do. Welcome to number 1, where we probably have the most important tip of them all, but that a lot of people would rather ignore because everyone wants to use the quick, easy, cheaty way of getting better at drifting. And the sad fact is there no quick, easy way. The best way for you to improve at drifting in Forza Motorsport 7 or in any game is practice. Give it some time. Just do 3 laps every day of the drill I just gave you before. As long as you're consistently practicing it, it is a skill that you will develop over time. It's not something that you can learn overnight. There is no video in Forza online that will tell you, do this, this, and this exactly, and you will drift perfectly. No, it's something you have to develop a feel for. So the last thing I have to tell you guys is practice. Well guys, that's going to be all for today's top 5 list. I was going to say top 10, but that's not true. That having been said, I really do hope you guys enjoy. Please let me know what you think of it in the comments below. As well, the next top 10 list is going to be the top 10 DLC cars that you would like to see in Forza Motorsport 7. So leave those recommendations in the comments below. As well, I would really appreciate it if you guys took the time to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Twitter. Links are in the description down below. As well, we have a Discord server where a lot of us hang out, like to talk to each other about stuff about Forza, or if you were looking for someone to play with, it's a place to be, so I highly recommend checking that out. All that having been said, my name has been Raymond, I've been your host today, and I hope to see you all in the next one.